Hello, everybody. Again, I wanted to come to you today and talk about a something that I do that a lot of people do, but it has helped me. I used to go around and I would have like to-do lists and I would write what I did that day, trying to keep a journal and all of that. And I had seen for years and years and years this thing called bullet journaling, but it didn't seem quite right for me because it was weird the grid with the dots in there, and until I saw something on Pinterest that says just make it your own. I'm like, okay, I'll try it. So I had been journaling and had a notebook, and so when the pandemic hit last year and everybody was in lockdown towards the end of where everything was really tightly locked down, the end of April, I had done a thing and had written everything I did on a day, and I'm like, I'm gonna try this. It was the end of April because I remember the day that I wrote everything down. It's my mom's birthday, and so I just came up with a simple one for the next day, and I tried it, and it worked pretty good. I have since modified it a little bit, so I want to talk about how I do a bullet journal. I don't do the dot books. I just use a regular line notebook. My wife had found a bunch of these. These are the denim moleskin notebooks, and she bought a bunch of them, I think, at TJ Maxx for a really good price. So I've been using one of these when that other one ran out, and so I just set it up. Joey Harris Bullet Journal Book 2. My index that has all of my stuff in there and a key. Then I have a future log of months, things coming up. And then I'm not going to show you everything, but then I have what are called collections. I have audiobooks to read, TV shows to watch, movies to watch, then movies and TV shows that I have watched. And then I'm going to show you August. On one side, I do just all the way the numbers of the month, the dates of the month, and beside it, what day that is. So if there's something important that I do, that I need to do, I'll put it beside that so I can just remind myself when I'm writing down my daily spread. And then August goals, you can see working on those. I've done 5 of the 7 so far, and as I'm recording this, it's the next to the last day. And then you can see, like for August the 4th, this is my spread. Goes over into the next day. I write down, every day I'd write down, the first thing I do is write down water because I need to remember to get water in. And if I do it that day, I put a little dot next to it. And if I do it that day, I just X it off. And then I hit my step goals. I had to take some packages to the post office. I did that. You can see I had a meeting down there, but the meeting got canceled. So I was able to just mark that off. Had a doctor's appointment. Now I needed to do something, program some doors for my work. I was not able to do that. So at the dot for that day, I just do an arrow to the right. That means I'm going to do it the next day. So I have to remember to write that down. And that was a day I was struggling. So there were like 3 or 4 things I didn't get done. So I just marked them to the right. But like, I do a dream list that I've written down my dreams. I try to look at that every day. So I remind myself, look at your dream list. I did that, I mark it off. I was listening to an audiobook, Eyes of Prey. I did that, marked it off. Did my Bible study. Shared my wife's Poshmark closet. I'm trying to read more. And to me, comic books count. So I read a comic book. So I have that down. Then contacting some residents. I did that. Write a blog. Watch part of a movie. Record a podcast. I do all of that. So a year from now, I can go back and I can look and see everything that I've got done a year before. So I know what I did that day. And also any notes that I have. Like On August 10th, I put, it's 66 degrees currently and cloudy today. A spot in the middle of my back is hurting heavily. And my wife was away at the time, and I'm like, man, I just don't know what it is. And she's like, do you think you pulled something? I'm like, I don't think so. But then I remembered that we had bought some bikes last year, and I was putting them in storage. And so I was lifting this heavy bike. It came back to me. That's what happened. And so you see how that works there. And so I have all of this in one place, and it makes life so much easier. I carry this around. I know what I have to do. I know where I need to be. I can take notes. Taking notes is, I've realized, is very important to me, because the phone is great. The phone is fantastic. I've got an iPhone 6S. It still works for me. My wife and I, we promised each other until we hit some goals, we were not going to buy a new phone. So it still works. It still updates. We're still going to use it. Now I have to charge it more than other people because the battery, we've had to replace once. But, you know, the battery life is what the battery life is. But the phones are great, but it takes you a minute to unlock your phone. Then you've got to find your note app. Then you got to type in the note, and you've probably forgotten what it is that you wanted to write down. I carried the notebook, the bullet journal, and I can open it up. I've got my pen. I'm writing, making a note. And so the note that I left myself this morning as I was headed to something was, focus each day on becoming 1/10 of 1% better. It's something that I heard a few days ago, and I want to incorporate it in my life. 1/10 of 1% better. After 10 days of working on that, I'm 1% better. If I keep working at that, you keep improving. So just something I wanted to share, my note-taking technique and the reason why I bullet journal, and I do it differently. And so maybe it'll work for you, maybe it won't. I would suggest, though, that you start taking notes and having something to write with in your everyday life so that you don't miss the things that are important to you. Please like, subscribe, share this video. You can find me on all social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, anything else, Pinterest. I'm at the Joey Harris. Go out and make it a great day.